So here we're going to be looking at equations with pronumerals on both sides. So normally when we're dealing with, equations, we sort of see a pronumeral on either LHS or the RHS. For example, 2x plus 5 equals 17 or something like that. So we only sort of deal with a pronumeral on one side. But what happens when you've got a pronumeral on both sides? So what we're learning here is how to make sure that we can isolate the x or solve for x, or solve for that pronumeral, and how to make an equivalent equation. So I want to use a sort of visual example here, so I'll just sort of put up an image here. Oh, here we go, I'll use a Thanos. There we go, hopefully there's that visual representation here, but you've got to think of it like a scale. And what we have is this sum here as a visual representation of the scale, and we just want to make a equivalent equation. And the way we do that, you'll see that there's sort of x's on both sides. So this side here has 3x and this one here has 5x. So what we can do, just to make equivalent equation, is if we take 3x from one side, you're also going to take 3x from the other side. Now what you still have is a balanced or an equivalent equation, and now you've isolated so you only have the x on one side. So what that looks like here is as you can see on that visual example, is that by taking away or adding, isolating some pronumerals, you're taking away from both sides or adding on both sides, you're going to get left with just a more simple equation like the one here. So I'm going to just pause the video. I want to show, we'll now do one algebraically, so I can show you what that looks like and how we can calculate that using that understanding. So we have two examples here that I want to do for you just so you can show how they are different, but also understand how to solve for the pronumeral. Make sure you watch both. I know, don't get lost down the YouTube rabbit hole. So these are good examples of what we need to make sure we're doing, how to both add and subtract pronumerals onto both sides. So on this first equation here, we have 7t plus 4 equals 5t plus 10, sorry. And what we want to do is isolate one of them. So we know that if we've got 5t here, we've got similar like terms. So what we can do is if we subtract, so it's a positive number, we can take 5t from here and also 5t from this side. Okay, and what that will leave us with is 2t plus 4 equals 10. So what we've been able to do is take away the 5t on this side. That means we also need to balance that scale, we also need to make sure that we can take 5t from the other side. And that leaves us now with a equation that we can solve a lot more easier. So now we have 5t plus 4 equals 10. Okay, we're going to reverse all this. I want to isolate the t. So if I have plus 4 on this side, I'll take away 4 both sides, which will leave me 2t equals 6. If I've got times by 2 here, I need to divide by 2. Therefore, t equals 3. Okay, so that shows you how you can take it away. It will leave you with a simple sum. Now I want to make sure you understand this one here because it might be a little bit different. Okay, so we have 6x plus 4 equals 22 minus 3x. Now I know that my like terms here are the x using the pronumerals of 6x and 3x. Now in this case, we're understanding that like terms, this is not a positive number. So you're using the symbol prior to it, which is minus 3x. So here, what we're actually doing, we're not taking 3 away, we're adding 3 because on our timeline, okay, so if we've got, say -1, -2, -3, and on this side I've got positive numbers, okay. So this is actually -3. We want to add 3 so we get to 0 to wipe that out. So it's a negative number. So what we do is we add 3 to both sides. So what would this now become? It becomes 9x plus 4 equals 22. And then now we can just simply solve the equation using our normal balance method. So again, we've got positive 4. So on this side it's going to be minus 4. Leaves us with 9x minus 18. We've got times by 9. So on this side it's going to be divided by 9, which we know is 2. X equals 2. So I want to make sure that you understand how to use both adding and subtracting the pronumerals on both sides. Make sure you're taking notes and asking questions as we go through. Thanks, guys.